Hi, everyone. I wanted to give an update on the situation since a lot of people were really concerned for me. After the whole debacle, I did purchase a wedge for under my door from Walmart. It worked, and I didn't have any more issues with waking up to people in my face. I used the excuse that it was to keep our cat from opening my door at night, and my mom seemed fine with that. Well, he was here, and even after he was gone, my mom seemed detached and sort of out of it. I asked if everything was okay, and she said she needed to sort out some feelings first, but she promised we'd talk when she was better. I said okay and left it at that. Couple days later, he came back for another weekend stay. The day after he came, they had an at-home date night with drinks and fancy takeout, and that night I woke up to my door being messed with. I call out to see if it's my mom and got no response. I pulled on a t-shirt and shorts and pull the door wedge out to check, and he is standing at my door. He was drunk, and I was a bit panicked because I thought something had happened to my mom and he needed help, but he just stood there for a few seconds without saying anything. He didn't seem to be sleepwalking or in peril, so I said, "I'm uncomfortable. I'm closing my door." Before I could close the door all the way, my mom flew out her room, saw him, and started cussing and screaming and telling him he needed to leave. They argued back and forth for a while, but eventually she got him out the door. After calming her down, I took her to her room, and we had a talk. It turns out, the day she had came into my room, she had been on his phone and saw he was talking to his brother-in-law about me in very disgusting ways, talking about how I was growing up to be very shapely and mature, and that he couldn't wait until I moved out so he could dump my mother for me. He said far more explicit things that were all extremely worrying, especially since we've known him since I was 11. My mom had came to tell me to be careful around him while she thought of a way to break it off safely, but when she saw my state, she had some misplaced anger. He's out of our lives now, thankfully. Her boyfriend was actually a creep. Mom had misplaced anger. I want to say thanks to everyone for all the suggestions and recommendations, and even those who suggested my mom could be abusive. I plan to talk to her about her other ideals/behaviors soon. Sarcastic thanks and genuinely big fuck you to those who sent me crude messages. I'm just glad the situation is over. Also, please stop fucking messaging me asking me to see my breasts. People are asking me what mentioning the size of my boobs had to do with the post, and it was one of the arguments my mother made for me to wear a shirt. Yes, in hindsight it doesn't come into play, but I was annoyed when I wrote the post and rethinking the entire situation. For those calling this fake, saying I'd die under the conditions I'm describing and to just get window screens, that doesn't help when the heat outside is so thick and gross. It's just extra hot air. Not to mention unpredictable rainstorms that I have to constantly close the window for anyway. Additionally, I have a phobia of bugs and the screens don't seem to stop cockroaches and spiders. Thank you to everyone messaging me with helpful tips. It's hard to respond to everyone, but I see and appreciate your help. I'll be purchasing a doorstop soon, as well as find time to discuss with my mom what her blow-up was about. We have a pretty decent relationship outside of this, which is why this shocked me and had me confused as to whether I was wrong or not.